It's the Two Strange Podcast.
All right then, so another busy day at Camp Carl
Yeah,
with my bitch Tom here. Two strange
Camp
men.
Cow. So again, once again, in your version of reality, it's all about you.
Is that all you got to say? It's all about me. It
Yeah.
is.
Well, I'm a side character in your
This is-
fantasy life. So
This is what you made clear in the last episode.
let's take this to its natural conclusion and change the podcast to Cal and his strange mate.
Yeah, you said the other time that I was basically having conversations with myself, and we couldn't even gauge whether you actually existed or not,
Cal,
or
I'm
whether
a
you were just
professional chat shitter. Like I don't remember what I said.
personality of me. Okay.
I kind of remember that now. You're saying it though.
Yes.
Now we're recapping.
Defo did happen.
And it kind of goes into the idea of like we have conversations outside this podcast. Crazy.
Yeah.
And like today's episode, we didn't argue about it, but there was a discussion. Do you remember this?
No, I don't really. I just remember telling you when you suggested this subject that I've basically just come out and said, well, I don't really give a shit about that.
But also, I was like, let's be topical.
Yes.
And you were like, current affairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm chasing that topical demon.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably too late to the party anyway.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about something that's kind of going on, and then feed that into a strange topic, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. What are we talking about?
So we're going to be talking about UFOs, which I'm going to put a disclaimer here. I actually, for my whole life, got the acronym wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So I start with what I thought the acronym was, and people can laugh, and then I'll say what it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So I thought it meant unidentified foreign object.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not that clever. It's unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
I prefer foreign object.
Yeah.
Because it makes me think of when they say, "Oh, there was a foreign object in his bum." You know, when they pull out things. You know, when they do the X-ray and oh, foreign object, and it makes me laugh because I'm a child.
It can be like quite specific then to things that are in the sky, in space.
Yeah.
I guess things that are flying around. I mean, like in space, are you flying or are you floating?
Well, I guess if you're cutting through it with direction, right, it's flying.
Yeah.
But
With
if
a
you're
rocket
just aim, I guess it's the difference between treading water and swimming.
Yeah. Okay.
Treading water, you're like staying there, right? Or let's say floating, it's involuntary and you're floating in the water, right? If you're swimming, you're actively moving. You're actively going through the water. I guess it's the same.
Is Loch Ness a USO?
Go on.
I mean, is he an unidentified swimming object?
Interesting. We're not going to unpack that because there's a lot.
Oh,
But-
God. What's that say about me?
But that's interesting, isn't it?
I've just gendered Loch Ness. Oh,
Probably the
no.
only thing that like probably doesn't have a gender, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's clip that. If we were famous YouTubers, clip it.
To be fair, like Nessie kind of sounds like a girl's name.
Yeah. Well, what does it say to me that I always thought that Nessie was a female?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that just what I want it to be? That's weird, isn't it?
Have you seen a lot of plesiosaur dinosaur vagina, like
I haven't.
in pictures of Loch Ness?
No.
But then again, you've not seen any plesiosaur dinosaur floppy dong as well.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a picture of the Loch Ness that felt like it wasn't just somebody photoshopping it?
It's never come across to me as photoshopping. It always came across as just like, wow, that's too far away. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I never saw a little penis like popping out of the water as well.
I mean, like
oh, it's Loch Ness and he's got a little baby. Oh, that's not a baby.
yeah. But I mean, and this leads me on to my... That's a whole ass dong. That kind of leads me on to my sort of point I want to make, right?
Well, before you do, can I just make this clear? Okay, and I tried to explain this to you like previously, right? We are looking at this based on the 31-Atlus comet.
Well, no, it's 3I, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Free Eye Atlas Comet. Yeah, I've only read it. I've not seen any like news reports for it.
I know that because of our colleague.
But that's specifically, we are not looking at flying saucers or anything like that. We are specifically looking at interstellar objects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because there's loads of different categories of this now. And when you think UFO, I mean, certainly me, because of media, you think sort of like, crackpot farmer who's kind of tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Right? So the UFO community have another way of identifying UFOs. Do you know this?
Oh, no. What is it?
UAPs.
Okay.
Unidentified... What? I can't remember what the A stands for. Phenomenon.
Okay.
But it is...
Anomalous.
Probably something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to say anomalous.
But it's essentially the same thing, right? It's phenomena or objects or flying things that we don't have an explanation for, or at least a scientific backing explanation for, because some people will say, we know exactly what 3i is. It's an interstellar spaceship, but there is no fundamental scientific grounding to say that is what it is.
I don't like that UAP is so close to OAP. Okay.
So you don't like to think of flying like old people in the interstellar craft, because I'm digging it.
Yeah. Like, it's difficult enough for them to like get a bus pass that's reliable. Like, to get a ticket on an unidentified.
But what if they weren't old, but they've been travelling for so long they are now old?
Yeah, it could happen, couldn't it? Yeah. It could happen. Yeah.
I mean, cryogenics isn't exactly easy, right? So
absolutely.
So maybe by the time they actually discover something, they're all just really old.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Anyway, should we just give a bit of context just to start with?
Yes,
because
please.
This is an episode where we're going to kind of go around some of the more broader like topics in relation to interstellar comets and things like that. But I guess we need to talk about like that Atlas comet a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, what are your thoughts on the Atlas comet? Because like you've got no fucking research in front of you, all right? And when I said where's your research,
aggressive.
You pointed to your cranium and you said it's all in here.
Here's my research.
You're just stealing some of my research.
I've just found an article.
You're an absolute dosser.
By a Harvard professor. So I do know about this. So I'm going to put this down because I've got this, baby.
Okay.
Just don't fact check me later on. So this is one of the rare times, and this will let you into an insight of like who I am as a person. One of the rare times I actually knew what was going on, because I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with current affairs.
Yeah.
Because it depresses the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Life's
What
too short.
you need is news provided to you in scrolling dialogue of a JRPG. That's what you need.
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Just we were talking about Persona, just visual novel style, and then I get to battle like a prime minister of some part, turn-based style.
Yeah.
That I'd know everything.
Absolutely.
That was the case.
I think that would be really useful for a lot of the youth today, I guess, to have, news and things like that provided for them in a certain way. And you can make things in RPG Maker.
You can. Don't spoil my little secrets. All right, I'm a nerd who likes to make video games on the stuff I like. All right?
But no, I'm talking about the royal you. Like, you could just like make shit quick.
So our sponsors today, RPG Maker, but I can't remember who they're from. But if you want to sponsor us, RPG Maker, I have been using your system for how old am I now? 15 years.
They tend to give their things away for free, so I don't think they've got a lot of money. Yeah, they do.
Like reduced, but I've never seen it free.
But like the old shit, like
2000.
Yeah,
nobody uses RPG Maker 2000.
Well, yeah,
not even in the community. Okay. So
we're gonna do a strange episode about that community. I think maybe.
Have you delved into that community?
No,
you're not ready. No, Reddit is insane. So as you said, there's 3i Atlas, which is what was believed to be a comet at first. And it has to be said, just to kind of get it out there, is still largely considered to be a comet by a lot of professionals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this isn't a podcast where we're like trying to kind of get you into the conspiracy theory. We're going to offer all sides.
Yeah.
So just so you know, there are plenty of people that are saying that this is not alien technology, that it's still a comet.
Yeah.
And the speed and the relation of the way that it's moving can be explained by the gravity pull of planets and, you know, just the universe. There's lots of the universe we don't know in terms of speed and trajectory. There is, however...
What I will say, just to give people a little fact out there, it's travelling over 130,000 miles per hour. And it's an improbable path close to the solar system's ecliptic plane and passing near Venus, Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So it's doing weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
So a Harvard professor, so not some schlub, right? Some quite well-to-do, astrologist, I guess.
Yeah. Avi Loeb.
Yeah, that's a word.
That's his name. Avi Loeb.
Has kind of said that it could be alien technology. Now, a lot of the articles, I don't take much stock in this because these days articles tend to sensationalise. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of the articles are calling it evil. I don't know how we would even get to that conclusion.
Yeah, I think one thing to take into account is I think Avi has actually he's published some speculative papers to say that it could be an alien probe, but also, well, then let's unpack that. If it's an alien probe, what is its intentions and stuff like that? It could essentially be evil. Do you know what I mean?
But all we know is the trajectory. So are we equating evilness with haste, with speed?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what it's for, right? It's not close enough for us to actually see what it is, whether it's a comet or whether it's, I feel like even if it's alien technology, you would kind of gauge what it's for, right? It would have a purpose. I'm just thinking, like, if it's cylindrical and it's got grabbers, it's probably bad, right?
Explain the grabbers, science.
Yeah. They are gonna fucking pick us up and take out our DNA.
Excuse me, they are naturally forming icicle particles that have attached all skiwiffy to it.
Just leave me alone.
Skiwiffy. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, Harvard.
A supernova. You're just saying stuff, aren't you? Black hole.
I was just about to say black hole. Because I do feel like that's thrown out a lot. Like, we can't explain it. Time travel, black hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably passed through a nebula. That's always what happened in Star Trek. There's some weird nebulas out there.
So I think what is actually going on though between the scientific community is that part of them are saying, look, we don't know what it is, but it's silly to just suggest that it's definitely not technology.
Yeah.
We should, because with anything else, you assess the risk whether it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's use our expertise, right? We've worked in film.
Yeah.
You go in there and you go, someone might fall, someone might do this, someone might do this. It's not always probable, right? You just have to assess the risk. So I don't think it's a bad thing to say, let's just, if it was to happen, what's our contingency plan?
Yeah.
If we had, so I don't think we're in the realms of crackpot crazy with this. Yeah. If we bury our head in the sands and it happens to be technology, then it could be bad, right? I think it's pragmatic at this point to be like, could be a comet.
Yeah.
Because even if it is a comet and it's on the wrong course, it could still spell disaster for us. That's not the first time it's happened.
Totally.
On Earth.
So just to unpack that, whether or not you're in film or not, like that's just that idea of health and safety within a workplace. Let's call the Earth a workplace. If you have to assess risks as part of that process, every room, every activity that's done and stuff like that, and that's really. That's here. What's the likelihood that this is a benevolent alien or evil alien probe or something like that? Like very, very low, but you still have to assess to see whether it is a risk. Yeah. And what's interesting is previous to this comet, the chap Avi Loeb, who's published these speculative papers and is often in the news about this, has raised the alarm bells previously with a different comet. So one, it's named through like Hawaiian language, which I don't know. Is it just Hawaiian? Yeah, in Hawaiian, essentially means scout or messenger, but it's
No, there's a broader term, right?
Oumuamua.
Yeah.
Yeah, so previous comet that came around in 2017, Oumuamua, actually started this whole process of looking at interstellar objects and things like that. Yeah. Would you like to talk more about the Atlas one before we move into that?
Well, I just find this interesting, right? Because as soon as the object moves out of space, and this is the most tinfoil hat you're ever going to hear me on this podcast.
Yeah.
Right? But this is purely speculative.
Yeah.
Like all things that we don't understand. I think it's interesting that like it passes and it's like, oh, must have been a comet. If this technology exists, are we really saying that it can't have like, you know, fast scanning capabilities?
Yeah,
it could be passing and scanning us without coming close.
It could
be it zips by doesn't mean it's not.
Yeah, like the weird thing is, like, I mean, I know it might look a lot different, but what's to stop like other aliens in some other solar system having the same conversation about the Voyager space probe?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, 100%.
I mean. Yeah, I guess they talk about it in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Like to a certain extent, it ended up looking really fucking weird as it left. But yeah,
here's my thing. Like, if I was an alien race and I conquered interstellar travel,
yeah,
I'd dress it up like a comet.
Yeah, it would be
smart, isn't it? We camouflage stuff all the time.
Yeah, it's like us wearing a ghillie suit when we're looking at birds.
Last weekend, specifically birds.
Of course.
I went to a history event last weekend.
Oh, did you?
And there was a guy there with full on like World War One cobber.
Yeah.
And
was he aware of the time? Did you ask him? Was he a reenactor or was this actually?
We're not talking about time travel. We've got away from black holes.
Yeah, I mean, like, but he could, like, you know, you're just assuming that he's there for the festival.
He was fully aware of where he was.
Was
and
he
what he was
running
doing.
around shaking people, saying, "What day is it? What time is it?
Absolutely not.
Who's the King of England?"
Anyway, so I was talking to him.
Yeah,
and then there was Russells, and I looked.
How many Russells? Russell Grant, Russell Brand.
If you're not going to take this seriously, I'm gonna stop my story. It's been a long week, folks.
Yeah.
And I did say off air, are we going to fight this week?
Okay, so you heard rustling.
So I heard Russells, and then we
Jack Russells. How many?
Brand. Oh no, is he banned now? Can we not talk about Russell Brand? Is he?
I'm just going with Jack Russells, like a load of dogs. Yeah.
And now I'm just imagining a bunch of Jack Russells moving en masse
with Russell Brand's face.
And this, like, there was a guy next to him. I didn't even realise he was like in full clobber, and it scared the shit out of me. He didn't feel like announcing himself.
He was ghillie suiting about, was he?
Yeah, just ghillie suiting about. Yeah. And every time now I'm thinking of, like, you know, camouflaging into the back. I'm going to think of that dickhead.
Yeah, Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Didn't like that.
He seemed like a nice bloke, but he didn't talk either. Was he even there?
Okay. So, yeah, if you're an alien, you'd be that.
Disguise it up, yeah.
Yeah. And basically, this is the equivalent of you being scared by him and him not talking. That's what's happening now with the human race.
I thought you were going to say this is equivalent of you being scared of mascots.
It's very similar. But yeah, so you've got this comet. You've got another comet as well that you may have come across in 2017. Now, you've been mentioning this idea of seeing these comets like as they're going and stuff like that. What's interesting is that this time, because of I guess Avi Loeb and other people, we are actually ready and are actually looking at these things head on. Whereas with the 2017 comet Oumuamua, we actually only saw the end of it.
Yeah,
it was leaving the solar system. And one of the interesting things that made us think that it was something different was the fact that scientists detected a non-gravitational acceleration, and it sped up. without an obvious cause. Okay, so again, strange trajectory, strange acceleration things, and things like that.
But we understand through science, like the slingshot method, right? We've all watched sci-fi. We all know that gravitational pulls can change the trajectory and speed of things.
Yes, absolutely.
So-
and specifically, he's talking about Star Trek 3: The Voyage Home. No, Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home.
God, you're a nerd.
Anyway, don't say that. So, but specifically, there was no evidence of where that acceleration was coming from. So, it normally comes from gas jets. And that's often called outgassing, which I assume is how you get around, Tom.
Outgassing.
Yeah. Just propelling yourself with your little farts. It stinks in here, guys. I'll just tell you that right now.
And why'd you lock the door then?
It's not locked today.
That's self-punishment.
But yeah, but that sort of acceleration would show a visible tail or gas emissions. But there was none of that. So that was interesting, no visible tail on this and things like that. And it's moving and it's increasing in speed and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to scientists. And so you're immediately going to have this debate between scientists and less skeptical scientists that are perhaps more open-minded, that will do things like release a speculative paper.
But doesn't Occam's razor come into this, right? And for anyone that's not aware of Occam's razor, it's really simple, literally.
Yeah.
That if something can't be explained, it's usually the simplest explanation is the one that's actually to blame, right? I think the idea of interstellar crafts is not the simplest explanation.
Oh, absolutely.
And as we're kind of going on and feeling lonely in the universe, are we just clutching to straws? Because as we start looking to the sky and really, we don't want to be alone, do we?
Yeah.
So are we clutching at straws at this point?
The thing is, this is the reason why there's certain subjects that people love to talk about, but I just simply don't give a shit about. And it's that idea of like, well, there's no empirical truth, so we're just completely speculating. This is just speculation. And so with this, we could pretty much just speculate in any way.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar attitude that I had when we were talking about conspiracies previous episodes ago. I can admit, it's like, okay, fine. These things exist. Yeah. There is a comet. Yeah. There might be this going on, but I'm just, because I can't tell you if this is like straight, honest, hard fact, then I'm going to lose interest in this, and so we're left in this situation where, of course, there's lots of things that we can't explain, but again, it's just like, it's as some scientists would argue when combating what Avi Loeb and others are saying, is the fact that this is, in regards to science and scientific discourse, this is distractive. Yeah. It takes away from important discourse with lots of speculation and stuff like that, and that's the problem.
Yeah. We have to be grounded in some level of fact to be able to stitch stuff together, I guess.
Yeah. I'm on the fence, though, that Avi Loeb and other people can fill their boots. Okay, what they are doing is positive, and we will go into that because Avi has actually put together a full sort of scientific project called the Galileo Project that specifically focused on this idea of interstellar objects and studying them with that intention of finding out whether they're true or not.
I mean, let the guy crack on, right? Like, okay, so using what, like 0.1% of the resources of the entire scientific community? Who cares?
Yeah.
There's
But
somebody
this
out
is the
there
thing that they care
dissecting
about.
shit, right?
This is the thing that they care about, is the idea that it's distractive. And I have mentioned the idea of scientific discourse, but scientific discourse is like the funds. What do you care more about? I mean, actually, I'm probably asking the wrong person, but like,
And what do you mean about that?
well, it's just like the idea that you don't want to live forever, and there's a lot of people sort of like interested in
the longevity stuff,
and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of funds that could potentially go into making me like a robot body that I can put my brain into. I don't know if I actually want that, but either way, this comet malarkey means less brain power put towards that.
Here's my otherworldly thinking, though, right?
Otherworldly thinking, yeah.
So let's say we fund this, and then it happens to be a
I know where you're going.
spacecraft.
I know where you're going. Keep going. Yeah.
They come here.
Yeah.
They know how to build.
Yeah.
fucking
And we have
robots.
sex with them. Yeah.
Great.
What were you going to
Great.
say? Sorry. What were you going to say?
Don't fucking worry about it, because everything boils down to, can I have sex with it?
Okay. No, but what were you saying?
They come. They offer new technologies, kind of like Star Trek, right?
Oh yeah, that's good.
And then you're closer to your robot body.
Brilliant. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We form an alliance. They give you some bionics. It's all gravy, baby.
Maybe a little sex as well in there.
Maybe a little bit of sex in there, if they're hot.
If they're hot, yeah,
Yeah.
but hot is in the eye of the beholder. isn't
Well, would you go for anything that's not humanoid?
I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be similar looking to humans.
See, the thing is, I'm thinking about this, and as I do, I'm staring into a picture of Jaws right now, and I'm thinking, I don't know.
What
don't
I
know,
think of, if
maybe.
you've watched the TV show Orville,
Okay.
there's a big slime thing
Yeah.
that's constantly trying to I'm going to use some Gen Z terms, rizz up.
Oh, yeah. And it's
Um,
voiced by Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace.
The kind of like medical chief officer.
Yes.
And every time someone's like, yeah, but would you have sex with aliens? I just come back to that slime and go, no.
Not that
No.
one, at least.
Yeah, not that one.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yeah.
We've got standards. They have to be solid and physical formed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, with every now and then, I feel like that's calmed down. And I think we had a few sexy episodes and stuff like that, and then this all sort of came from that to a certain extent. But I think we've calmed down with the whole like sex with other things and stuff.
Yeah, until you brought it up again.
Well, I thought you brought it up.
No, you certainly did bring it up.
Anyway, moving on. So yeah. So as I've mentioned, so Avi then uses Oumuamua as a way to essentially create the Galileo project. He suggests that the Oumuamua could be an alien technology object, possibly a light sail or probe. Now, light sails are quite interesting. Now, you've mentioned the chief medical officer from what's the word?
The Orville.
From the Orville, yeah. And she actually played Commander Ben Sisko's girlfriend in Deep Space Nine.
You're just fully invested, aren't you?
And Commander Ben Sisko actually created from wood and other materials a fully working light sail ship that essentially, sailed on solar winds in an episode, which was quite interesting. I just
quite
love
good.
those sort of connections. Everything's sort of connected together. It's all good.
Which, suggests we're in the simulation.
We're in a simulation, yes. All I care about at the end of the day is that if I do get my robot body,
Yeah.
I will be around for when we're actually in Star Trek.
I honestly, just heard AR, and I was like, he's going to say, I want to be aroused, isn't he? But you didn't.
No,
Which is good,
No.
but it already happened
No.
in my head.
But, mentally, I'm definitely aroused by Star Trek.
I can see that.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so, we've got this whole idea of an alien probe debate. So for, in the camp for things being alien probes is some very simple ideas. Is like, for example, when I'm struggling with this, and I used to say it well, but now I'm struggling.
Why?
Oumuamua.
Why is it called that?
Because it's the Hawaiian reference and stuff like Scout or Messenger.
But surely there's there's more to that, right?
Possibly. It
I mean,
was
is Avi Hawaiian?
It was found by a telescope in Hawaii. That's why.
Okay.
But anyway, so the idea is that anomalous behaviour exhibited by this object was non-gravitational acceleration without visible outgassing, like we've mentioned, but also the extremely elongated or flat shape. Yeah?
Okay.
Giving it almost like a cylindrical or saucer-like structure to it. And then an unusual reflective surface against known comets or asteroids. So it looked really interesting. Like,
But they only caught the end of it.
Yeah. So just imagine like some sort of weird reflective pebble that's moving quicker as it leaves the solar system. And that's what they got. And then basically what they ended up doing is create a Galileo project, which is essentially a project made up of lots and lots of different scientists and stuff, and it obviously has some financial backing. But yeah, the project seeks to systematically collect upon verifiable data on unidentified aerial phenomena, interstellar objects, and also extraterrestrial technosignatures, which are like, searching for evidence of advanced technology in Earth's neighborhood and beyond. Yeah? So we can get an idea of what all of those are. If we're going to look at UAP very quickly, they're going to be using high-resolution imaging of unidentified objects in Earth's atmosphere using dedicated telescopes and AI-driven tracking. Yeah? So, no longer are we in a situation where we have to rely on the eyewitness account of a fighter jet pilot or something like that we've had in the past. We have like AI-driven technology looking at the skies at all times, which is really interesting that we've got to this point.
Because even if they don't identify flying objects, right, we get a better understanding of the movement of our solar system.
Yeah. And what's good about this is that it's a non-government organisation, so there's full transparency. We often, get annoyed at the idea of how, say, for example, the American government deals with things. We all wanted to rush into Roswell or Area 51 at one point in time. It's none of that. Like, they'd just open the doors and give us a tour.
NASA are very cagey, aren't they? Like, they just publish what they have to.
Yeah.
Speaking of Roswell, and I know you're not overly into conspiracy theories, but have you ever heard of the Roswell technology conspiracy theory?
So I don't know them by name, but I know that there's people going on like Joe Rogan and saying basically, I worked at this thing and we saw this object, and it's like, it was clearly some sort of gravitational device, and all sorts of things like that. It's like, yeah, okay, great, but it's just an account from you, and you also, funny enough, want to sell a book.
And they always do, don't they?
Absolutely.
There's always something in it for them.
You might as well just be David Icke.
But there's loads of discourse to basically say the reason why our technology has jumped.
Yeah.
If we're comparing the 1,000 years previous to the last 100, our rate of change in terms of technology is insane. And the theory goes that everything's backward compatible to a craft. So everything that we're building in terms of new technology is just an understanding from this craft, and it's building on itself.
But that takes away from human ingenuity, doesn't it? An awful lot. But
you'd have to have ingenuity to backwards compatible.
Absolutely. And so why are you taking everything from this and not just fucking inventing stuff? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm very skeptical with that, and until
me too.
until there's actual empirical evidence for any of this sort of stuff, it's just you've got to be careful as snake oil salesman. Like that's the bottom line at the end of the day. And someone like Joe Rogan's just not going to do that a lot, I guess. Yeah. Because he's given them that platform, you would hope that he would stay.
Well, he's gaining from it too, right? The more ridiculous and outlandish their claims.
Yeah.
But
there's a limit.
I would 100% believe someone more if they were like, I've seen this, and then they weren't getting paid for their time, and there was no book, or there was no DVD, or there was no convention that they were trying to sell you tickets for.
Yeah.
If they just came on and went, I'm not being paid for this.
Yeah.
I just want to get the truth out there.
Absolutely.
I'd 100% be like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
But every time I'm like, oh, this sounds, and then they're like, you can read about it. I'm like, click off. See you later. Like,
that's it.
Do one. We've been ripping people off since we've been a civilization. There's been someone selling something, kangaroo penises, the skin of kangaroo penises. You eat it and you live long. Like, there's always been someone like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And if UFOs did visit, we'd immediately try and sell them a kangaroo penis, wouldn't we? Like,
I would.
straight away, yeah.
I'd be like, look, the atmosphere is toxic for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need
Quick,
to
eat this.
You need to eat this kangaroo
Eat
penis.
this. But, give me some alien money.
Yeah. Give me a cyborg body.
Yeah.
And
then
I'll give you this kangaroo penis.
We have evolved beyond the need of physical possession. I'll be, fuck off then, you dick. Get out.
You commie bastard.
Piss off. Oh, fucking woke aliens, didn't we? We got some fucking woke aliens.
Yeah, let's hope they don't go to the north of England, eh?
Hey, look, fucking hell, they're immigrants. Bloody immigrants. Well, you want to get into our hotels, do you? Bastards. Anyway.
Accurate representation of how it goes down.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like, we'll have a reform government by that point in time, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will literally be stop the aliens.
These pose a threat to
National security.
and me making more money somehow. Anyway.
Unless they're into capitalism, let's fucking bring them in.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like moving on because I've got a few other things to cover. So that's pretty cool. Just the idea that we've kind of got that covered in regards to observation and transparent sharing of information through since 2017, and that's why this is, I think, more of a story in the news. Is more topical because we've got that Galileo project set up.
Yeah.
Obviously, the origins of the name Galileo comes from the Galileo Galilei, who challenged established dogma by looking through a telescope, and Loeb's basically doing the same with this.
Yeah,
one.
he did.
Yeah, he did. That's right. But yeah. So, one thing to take into account is that a similar sort of situation happened in 1883. There was a guy called...
Well, they also contacted AI.
That's absolutely. They had the use of AI here. But on August 12th in 1883, Jose Bonilla, the director of the Zacatecas Observatory in Mexico, reported seeing hundreds of unidentified objects, crossing the solar disk while observing the sun. Now, Bonilla was photographing the sun to study sunspots when he noticed dark, fuzzy objects passing in front of it. There was 447 objects. It was a complete scatter of these things. They were elongated and irregular in shape. And Bonilla described them as misty bodies with comet-like tails, and he actually captured 2 photographic plates showing some of the silhouettes. Now, the phenomenon, it sparked curiosity because there wasn't any other observatories at the time that reported similar sightings. This led, obviously, to a lot of skepticism around this. It could be a number of different things, including the idea of it being a dirty lens. Yeah, so it could have been anything, and this just goes to show
and the technology wasn't really strong enough to like refute that, right? It can't be like, oh no, but I mean, very easy for grains of sand to get in, right?
Yeah,
and grains of mud.
And it just goes to show how dismissive scientists can be over like something new observed and things like that.
I think they have to be to an extent, though, right? If they kind of accept everything as a possible, where do you start drawing that scientific line?
Yeah, I know. I understand that. It all has to be related to evidence. But then someone's presenting you with evidence, and then you're like, well, this evidence could be this, could be that.
But I could be wrong. I'm no scientist. But don't they function on the rule of 3? If there are, 3 phenomena that are happening, that are observable, then they take it to the next step. If it's just one outlier,
Yeah.
then there's probably Occam's razor, right? There's
Yeah,
probably
sure.
another solution.
Yeah.
But if there are 3 empirical types of evidence, then it's something worth exploring.
Of course. But because that becomes the normal process, what ends up happening is things will slip through the cracks. Like actual ideas and observations and things like that will go dismissed. Like, for example, the Bonilla observation that I've just mentioned. Now, I'll explain why. Because actually, more than a century later, in 2011, researchers revisited the case and offered a further reinterpretation. So, they've had the opportunity to be less skeptical and actually go into it.
Yeah.
The objects Bonilla saw might have been large fragments of disintegrating comet passing extremely close to Earth. Possibly 600 to 8,000 kilometers away from the planet. So if that's true, it would make it one of the closest brushes with a catastrophic impact in human history.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, that essentially it's just fragments of a disintegrating comet, and that's what you're essentially seeing. So, you kind of are reminded in that sense of how these foreign objects and stuff like that are really, what's the word? Actually quite dangerous to us, aren't they? We need to be able to check their trajectory and stuff like that to avoid a situation where Bruce Willis has to go up into the clouds and, with his mining company.
Although
he's not up for it now. I'll just say it. He's not up for it.
Yeah. I mean, that just every time we talk about comets and them coming down, I just always think of do you know much about sky metal?
Sky metal, only that it's the most devilish, extreme genre of music there is.
Sky metal.
Sky metal.
So in ancient civilizations, Greece and Rome mostly, king's blades would be made, and Egypt did this a lot as well actually. King's blades would be made of metal from comets.
Okay.
And they would interpret it as metal from the gods. So that and this is where the idea of obsidian and all those kind of ancient metals come from, right? That it's actually comets that are broken down and they have minerals in them, and they've been transported to ancient civilizations, and they smelted them into blades.
But obsidian is a byproduct of volcanoes and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not thinking. I don't.
You're thinking obsidian. Of something else.
Mithril.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea of mithril.
Oh yeah.
As a concept, and they would put them into daggers, not traditionally long swords, right? Because there's not a lot of it. But it'd be gifted to kings, and it would be said to have properties. There is also speculation that if Excalibur existed, it was probably made of these sky metals because they were traded.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I've learned something interesting today. That's fantastic.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Is that the Hawaiian thing going in?
You bet
I guess
boy.
The Polynesian at least, yeah.
I am on form.
So with the Bonilla observation, you've got 2 camps there. You've got the dirty lens theory and the comet fragment theory. But yeah, it's an early example of unidentified aerial phenomena. As I'll just remind you, 1883 that we had that one. So one final area that I'd like to actually talk to you about is the idea of panspermia as a hypothesis.
Oh, go on. I don't know about this.
So panspermia, essentially, it's a term that comes from Greek. So pan being all and sperma being seed, obviously. So seeds everywhere. Yeah. And it's essentially the theory that proposes that life or the precursors to life can survive harsh cosmic conditions and travel across vast interstellar distances to seed on habitable planets.
Yeah, because there is a hypothesis, right, that quite a lot of the germs have actually come from a comet.
Yeah.
And that's seeded life on Earth.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially it's that. The concept dates back to Greek philosophers like Anaxagoras of the 5th century, who suggested life seed permeates the cosmos. And in modern science, the idea was revived in 1903, by Cervantes Arrhenius, who proposed radiopanspermia, that essentially microbes could be propelled through space by radiation pressure from stars. And then later, British astrophysicists advanced the hypothesis by suggesting comets are rich in organic material and could distribute life's ingredients. Hence, like, essentially adding ingredients to the primordial soup.
Yeah,
And stuff like that.
and it makes a portion of sense, right? Because we know that this planet is going to explode and die one day.
No.
Well, we know that.
No.
All planets have an expiry date.
Yeah,
all solar systems,
Yeah, but
let's say,
God's
have
not
an
going to allow
expiry.
that to happen, Tom.
Anyway,
Moving on.
yeah. How very dare you? But the solar system will implode one day. The sun will implode, and it will take the planets with them. I do think that there will be portions of material, bacteria that will survive that kind of flinging and will go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that probably happened with us, right?
Yeah.
There probably was a planet before, a solar system before. Pop, boom, all the way over there, seeded a new planet. I don't think it happens often, but I think it happens.
But, like, you know, there's also, so essentially there's like 3 different ways in which this is proposed as mechanisms. So you've got the idea of lithopanspermia. So like all of these interstellar objects having these essential ingredients embedded within them. And, you know, ejected from a planet's surface. So going pop,
Yeah.
like a dandelion, I guess. But then there's the other mentioned one where you've got microbes being pushed by light or radiation pressure. That was radiopanspermia. But then there's also directed panspermia as well. The idea that it's deliberately spread through an advanced civilization. Now, there is an episode, a 2-part episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, where they do explore this idea. And they explain why all of the aliens in Star Trek are humanoid, as in bipedal, 2 arms, 2 legs.
I was thinking that if you're carrying ingredients,
Yeah.
yes, there might be a change, but really, if you've got eggs and flour, then you probably and a little bit of sugar, you're probably going to make a cake, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, you know, that was the whole process. But that I quite liked that episode because it kind of like put like law on the idea of like our special effects abilities in the 60s weren't very good, so everyone's just got arms and legs. But anyway, but what is the supporting evidence? So, for example, the Murchison meteorite of 1969 contained amino acids, which are the building blocks of life. And also missions to explore comets like the Rosetta to Comet 67P found complex organic molecules. And also experiments on the International Space Station show that bacteria and spores can survive vacuum, radiation, and extreme temperatures for extended periods. I don't know how extended they want to go because, like, you know, light years and shit like that. But still, you know. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
It does pose the question, are we actually a virus? Are we actually like, you know, some exploding planet has sneezed us out and we have infected, like a COVID virus, this planet?
I think some of us are a virus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you looking at one right now?
Your t-shirt looks a bit like a virus.
Oh, okay. It's Jean-Michel Basquiat, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get a bit of culture, mate. Get a bit of culture.
How very dare you? Yeah, I mean, I can say we put a lot of pressure on the planet, so I can certainly see the argument that we are, you know, a viral infection. If you were to look at the planet as an organism,
Yeah.
we're a little bit of a virus,
Oh,
aren't we?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. But
Overgrown
the idea of
bacteria.
us being like a foreign object being introduced
Yeah.
there.
Oh, don't tell Reform that we're the foreign object. They all like
Yeah. I mean, but let's unpack that because, like the immigration debate and, who is actually native to the British Isles and stuff like that is quite a big topic, isn't it?
You get really sort of like, you can get confused very quickly.
Absolutely. But needless to say, if we don't do something soon, it won't be "Stop the boats" anymore as a slogan. It will be "Stop the comets," won't it? Yeah.
So let's shoot AS3I down or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking bomb the shit out of it because that's apparently what we're good at.
Yeah. I mean, get Bruce Willis in. He can do it. Yeah.
Let's travel back in time and get 90s Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And also when he's up there, take Aerosmith with you so that they can like sing him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that song?
I can stay awake just to hear you breathing.
And that, folks, is how you do an outro.
I can stay lost in this moment
Ba-doom.
forever.
Ba-doom.
Thanks for listening. Here's a disclaimer. We are not experts. We can easily get things wrong in an episode. Our intention is to explore and open up the possibilities for further exploration. Come find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. We would love some interaction. Also, if you can consider supporting us on Patreon, that would help a bunch. Search for 2, that's number 2, Strange Men Pod, all one word. Until next time, keep it strange.